Welcome to the Sure Wealth Podcast, where we bring you the timeless wisdom of the world's greatest business and wealth-building books. In each episode, we break down proven strategies from legendary minds, so you can apply them to your own journey toward financial freedom and success. So, get ready to unlock the secrets of success, one book at a time.
Welcome to the Sure Wealth Podcast, everyone, where we do deep dives into powerful books to uncover those timeless lessons that can really move the needle on your wealth journey. Our motto here is simple: timeless lessons. Real wealth, one book at a time.
I like it.
And for our very first deep dive, we are tackling a true cornerstone, As a Man Thinketh, by James Allen.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Now, this isn't your typical how-to guide, filled with investment strategies.
Yeah.
What makes As a Man Thinketh so potent is it digs down to the absolute bedrock of wealth building, suggesting that our external financial success is really a direct reflection of our internal landscape of thoughts.
I like that.
Our guest today is an expert on personal finance and the psychology of wealth, and I'm so excited to dive into this book with him today.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
So, Alan, he called this book a little volume, born from his own meditation and experience. He wasn't trying to hand us all the answers, right?
Right.
But rather, as he put it, to be suggestive rather than explanatory. His aim was to spark that powerful realization within each of us, and this is really key for your wealth journey, that they themselves are makers of themselves.
That's so powerful. I mean, that's a huge takeaway right there.
Yeah, and that's precisely our mission with this deep dive. We're going to really extract the core insights from As a Man Thinketh that have a direct bearing on, understanding the fundamental principles of building wealth. And we'll explore how this seemingly philosophical work, offers incredibly practical wisdom for your financial life. Think of this as your shortcut to grasping these crucial thought-provoking principles. The ones that operate beneath the surface of everyday financial advice.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's jump right into the heart of it.
Okay, let's do it.
The book kicks off with this incredibly direct statement. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Now, you might read that and think, okay, that's a nice sentiment. But Allen argues that this isn't just some, pleasant saying. No. It embraces the whole of a man's being, shaping every condition and circumstance of his life. And for you, someone focused on building wealth, that means it touches every aspect of your financial world too. He's essentially saying you are, in a very real sense, what you think about money, about opportunity, about your own capabilities and your character. Well, that's simply the complete sum of all his thoughts.
Yeah.
In action, financially, and otherwise.
That's right.
I mean, he's really going deep right off the bat.
He is.
What's so fascinating to me here is the cause and effect relationship Allen lays out between our inner thoughts and our outer realities, and particularly when it comes to wealth.
Right.
He uses a really insightful analogy, I think.
Yeah.
He says, as the plant springs from and could not be without the seed, so every active man springs from the hidden seeds of thought.
Yeah.
So whether it's deciding to, invest in a particular asset, or even just making a seemingly, small daily spending choice, Allen is suggesting that it all has roots in a prior thought, a belief, a perspective. And it's not just about the actions we take, is it?
Oh, no.
He goes on to say that our thoughts directly influence our experiences, that joy and suffering are its fruits. Our mindset, whether it leans towards abundance and possibility or scarcity and fear, ultimately shapes our financial journey and the emotions we associate with it.
That's so true.
Right.
It's like you can have all the money in the world, but if your mindset is still focused on lack and scarcity, you're not going to feel truly wealthy.
He even includes this really powerful piece of poetry.
Oh, I love this part.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
He goes, thought in the mind hath made us what we are. By thought was wrought and built. If a man's mind hath evil thoughts, pain comes on him as comes, the wheel of the ox behind. If one endures in purity of thought, joy follows him as his own shadow, sure.
Wow.
It really brings home the idea that our prevailing thoughts have tangible consequences in our lives.
It does. It's like this beautiful poetic way of saying you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
But in this case, what you're sowing are your thoughts.
And Allen is keen to emphasize this isn't some random process, right?
Not at all.
He talks about growth by law in the realm of thought, drawing a direct parallel to the natural laws that govern the physical world around us. Just as gravity consistently pulls objects down, there are consistent principles at play in how our thoughts shape our reality.
I love that analogy.
Right.
It really makes it click, we understand how the physical world works, but we often forget that our thoughts operate under similar laws.
Totally. He argues that a noble character, someone who acts with integrity and vision in their financial dealings, for example, is the natural result of continued effort and right thinking. Conversely, someone consistently plagued by negative or limiting financial beliefs, well, they're likely to experience less positive outcomes.
Right.
Now, if we connect this directly to your goal of wealth building, it strongly suggests that cultivating consistent, positive, and constructive financial thinking isn't just about feeling good. It's a fundamental driver of actual financial results.
Yeah, it's not just about chasing the next hot tip. It's about building that solid mental foundation that's going to guide your decisions over the long term.
This is where it gets really interesting for me in the context of building wealth. Allen states so powerfully, man is made or unmade by himself. In the armory of thought, he forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. He also fashions the tools with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions of joy and strength and peace.
Wow, that's powerful.
That's a dramatic image.
It is.
But when you think about it financially, it really resonates.
Yeah.
Our own limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
our fears around money, those are the weapons we forge against ourselves.
That's so true.
Right? But by consciously cultivating empowering thoughts, we equip ourselves to build a future of financial security and even abundance. It puts the power squarely in our hands, in our mind.
Absolutely. It's all about taking ownership of your thoughts and recognizing that they have a direct impact on your reality.
He doesn't stop at just our inner state, right?
No, he doesn't.
He goes on to assert that man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and the maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny.
Yeah.
Think about the implications for you as you're building wealth. Your thoughts have this incredible power to influence not just your internal financial confidence, but also the very opportunities and circumstances you attract and create.
It's like you're putting out a certain energy into the world, and that energy is attracting similar energy back to you.
Totally. He even refers to us as beings of power, intelligence, and love, suggesting that we already possess the inherent capacity to navigate any situation and shape our financial destiny through the thoughts we choose to consistently nurture.
I love that he emphasizes love, because I think sometimes in the pursuit of wealth, we can forget about the importance of things like compassion and generosity.
Okay, so if we accept this foundational idea that our thoughts are so incredibly influential in shaping our wealth, how do we actually become conscious masters of them, especially when it comes to our financial lives?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Allen acknowledges that even when we feel stuck or financially challenged, we're still, in a sense, the master of our thoughts. Just perhaps a foolish master who isn't yet directing their mental energy effectively.
Right, we're all capable of mastering our thoughts, but it takes conscious effort.
So what's insightful here is Allen's perspective on the journey from being that foolish master to becoming a wise master of our thoughts, particularly in relation to wealth. He says it begins with reflection.
Okay.
Taking dedicated time to really examine our prevailing thoughts about money, about success, about our own financial capabilities.
Yeah, it's about getting really honest with yourself about what you truly believe about money.
Yeah, and it's about diligently searching for what he calls the law upon which his being is established. Essentially understanding the fundamental principles that govern how our thoughts impact our financial reality.
It's like we're trying to crack the code of our own minds.
Right, and this isn't a passive process of just, hoping for better thoughts, is it?
Oh, definitely not.
Allen stresses that becoming a conscious master requires application, self-analysis, and experience.
It's not enough to just read about it. You have to actively put these principles into practice.
Right. It's like he's saying you can't just intellectually agree with the idea. You have to actively engage with your own thought patterns and rigorously observe their effects on your financial decisions and outcomes.
Exactly. It's about becoming a scientist of your own mind.
He uses this compelling analogy of mining for gold and diamonds.
Oh, yeah. I love that one.
Suggesting that uncovering the valuable truths about ourselves, especially our deeply held financial beliefs, requires a deep and persistent exploration of the mine of his soul.
It's not always easy to dig deep into our subconscious beliefs.
That's a powerful image, and it really emphasizes the effort involved. He also lays out a very practical, almost scientific approach to proving this connection between thought and outcome for ourselves, proving that we are indeed the architects of our financial character and destiny. It involves actively watching, controlling, and altering our thoughts, particularly those related to money and wealth, and then crucially, tracing their effects upon himself, upon others, and upon his life and circumstances.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme for the mind.
Oh.
It demands patient practice and investigation, diligently linking cause and effect over time.
It's a long game.
Every financial win, every setback, every feeling of anxiety or confidence around money becomes valuable data for self-knowledge.
It's like you're constantly gathering data points to refine your understanding of how your thoughts are influencing your financial reality.
So it's about becoming a financial thought detective.
I love that.
Constantly observing the direct link between what we're thinking and feeling about money and what we're actually experiencing in our financial world.
Right.
So it's like a continuous cycle of learning and refinement, where we become more and more aware of the subtle ways our thoughts shape our financial reality.
Absolutely. And the more aware you become, the more power you have to shift those thoughts and create the financial reality you desire.
Ellen concludes this crucial section with this seemingly simple but profound absolute law. He that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. But he immediately follows that with the essential ingredients for making that law work in your favor: patience, practice, and ceaseless importunity in your pursuit of self-knowledge.
Yeah, it's not about just wishing for things to change. It's about putting in the work to understand yourself and your relationship with money.
It's not about expecting instant enlightenment about your financial mindset. It's about persistent, dedicated effort in understanding the power of your own thoughts, which, as we've explored, is the very foundation upon which you can build real and lasting wealth. It's about actively seeking to understand your own financial psychology.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So if you take just one key insight away from this initial deep dive into James Allen's As a Man Thinketh, in the context of your wealth journey, it's this: building real and sustainable wealth isn't solely about external strategies, market trends, or the latest investment fad. It begins much deeper, with intentionally cultivating the right thoughts and developing a strong financial character rooted in positive, purposeful, and empowering thinking,
Right.
as James Allen so clearly stated. And it's a powerful reminder for all of us. They themselves are makers of themselves.
Such a simple yet profound truth.
And this is really just the beginning of our exploration into the timeless wisdom of James Allen. For our next deep dive, we're going to build directly upon this foundational principle and delve into the effect of thought on circumstances.
Oh, I'm excited for that one.
We'll be examining in more detail precisely how these inner thoughts manifest in the external world of wealth and opportunity, exploring the tangible connections between your mindset and your financial reality.
It's going to be fascinating to see how those connections play out in real life scenarios.
We're really looking forward to unpacking that next layer for you. Until our next deep dive. Bye for now.